Hey boys and girls, I'm Cheryl Totten with Boys and Girls Club of Greater Baton Rouge. This is day 3 video of a little bit more about our Be Safe, Be Smart, Get Real About Violence program for 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders. And I am so glad to bring this video to you, and I hope that you have been enjoying some of the messages that we've shared through our first set of videos. This is talking more specifically today about stress, and it's a hot topic because everyone has been affected by the COVID-19 and has caused a lot more stress than we ever thought possible. I mean, and you know, life before COVID was stressful at times and so forth. One of the sources of your stress is probably homeschool, learning virtually, and your parents having to be your teachers or help you with work in ways that they haven't had to do before, and missing your friends at school and even missing your teachers. So, you know, it's quite stressful for everybody, and so it's a great thing to talk about. Let's talk about that. And what do we have control over? When we talk about stress and the effects that it has on our body, a lot of times we don't have any control over what's going on. It's kind of like, you know, I use these as a reference. They're haywire, and that's what happens. And when a pandemic happens, it's just crazy. It's just absolutely crazy. And so that is affecting our bodies, and we can have all these different stress signals going on, and we talked about that. So let's go back to, what do we really have control over? What sources of stress in our life are we in charge of? Okay, and that's what I want you to focus on is, yes, there's all this going on out there in the world, and your family may have been affected by somebody ill with COVID and stuff like that, and I'm really sorry about that. So you know firsthand the effects of the illness. So were you in control of that? Were you in charge of that? Could you have stopped it? No, none of us could have, because if we could have, we would have, okay? But what you are in charge of when it comes to the amount of stress in your life is what I want you to focus on. All the things out there in the world you're not in control of, but you are in control of certain things. So let's look at you and what you are in control of. Can you control all the things that happen in your life? No, you can't. You can't control when a teacher gives an assignment for homework. You can't control when you're planning a vacation or you're planning an outdoor event and it rains and it storms. You can't control what happens, whether or not your baseball or softball or soccer team wins or loses, football teams, basketball, all of the sports. You have no control over whether that is a win or a loss. You're part of a larger group. So I want you to move in a little bit closer, and I want you to look at just you inside your house, okay, with just your family members. What are you in control of? What are the things that you can control and are responsible for? And might be your homework, might be your room, might be chores around your house. There are certain things you're in charge of, okay? Your hectic schedules of all the different events that you have to go to, sometimes you're not in control of that. You could say no, you could not go to them, but if you're on a team and you've made a commitment, well, you have to fulfill that commitment. So those busy schedules, practice and games or competitions and stuff like that, all those things are scheduled and they're not in your control. So I want you again to look at the things you are in control of and all these other things that are going on. What can you do to help your stress with the things you're responsible for? Okay? Well, first of all, I want you to make a plan for the next time. You know what games, teams you're on, and you know what games are coming up, because we are starting to get back into that now. I know I'm going to get to go see my grandson play baseball later on, and you know, so life is starting to happen again, and those events are starting to happen again, and I'm starting to see my family members and so forth. So make a plan for the next thing. We all have things to do, and we all have things we like to do. We all have people that we like to be around, okay? If you know that there's a lot going on, you saw what I did? Take a deep breath. If you know there's a busy schedule, take a deep breath and think about making a plan of how you can make it less stressful. For example, make sure you have all your uniform or all the pieces to the outfit that you're going to wear to a certain event. Have those laid out ahead of time. If there's a party the next day, or there's a family event or a function, you have school, you know, whatever that event is or that thing that you have to do the next day, take some time the night before and lay that all out. Okay, lay what you're going to wear out, or at least have an idea where it is, so you're not running around frantically looking for those things. Have it laid out so that the next morning you've already avoided some undue stress. Okay, you have a test coming up. Make sure that you've been responsible and you have covered all your bases. You've read all the things the teacher has given you. You have written all the notes. You have memorized all the things that you need to memorize. Make sure you have all of those things in order so that you are prepared. And that is what can reduce a lot of stress, okay? Let's talk about people and the other people in our lives that cause us stress. In day 2's video, I talked about substance abuse and in families, and that can sometimes cause a lot of struggles for you because you don't feel safe, or there are people who walk around with a lot of hurt feelings, so they're mean to other people and stuff like that. Well, let's think about it. You're going to be in that uncomfortable situation. What are some things you can do? You know, one of the things that I thought about during the COVID-19 pandemic, where everybody was quarantined at home and students were online learning and learning at home and being homeschooled and so forth, was, you know, those kids who go to school and get bullied, well, they might not have been so stressed out about it because they weren't going to school getting picked on and being bullied by somebody who was constantly being mean to them. So their stress level may have dropped considerably. But I also think about the kids who are at home and it's not a really good place to be. Maybe school is the safest place for them, okay? And so their stress level has maybe gone up, all right? Don't mean to make light of that at all, but I was making a comparison. And there's some people who handle stress differently, and they have coping mechanisms, and I want you to get those things too, okay? So make a plan for the next one. We all have things to do we don't want to do or like to do. We have people that we like and we like to be around, and they make us feel good and we have a good time and stuff like that, but then there's those people that we don't want to be around, all right? What do we do about that? Well, first of all, we take that deep breath. We play it out, maybe play it out in our head. What are my actions going to be? Just because I don't like being around them, does it mean it's okay for me to be rude to them? No, it's not. Because what are you spreading then? Are you spreading joy and love? No, you're spreading meanness. And you're keeping it going. And yes, maybe they've hurt you. Maybe they've offended you. Maybe you know when you get around that person, they're going to do something that's going to cause you to be upset or to feel stressed out. Take a deep breath and think, okay, this isn't going to last forever. I only have to endure this for a little while. And by golly, go do it. All right? It's part of life to be around people that we don't necessarily want to be around all the time. Okay? Also, we have certain chores that we don't want to do at home. And maybe you're like, man, it's unfair. I don't want to do it. So-and-so has a maid and they come to their house and all that. Well, I've never had one. And so, it's like, if it's going to get done, I have to do it. And, I had children have to do chores too. You're part of that community and it's your responsibility. So do you bellyache and do you complain and say, I don't want to do it, and you prolong it and you put it off? Well, that just adds stress to the whole situation. So are you a part of the solution or are you part of the problem? Which one do you want to be? So make a plan that the next time that chore has to be done, all right, I'm going to do it, I'm going to get it over with, and it's going to be done. And then I can go on to do the things that I want to do. If you're around a certain person that is making you feel uncomfortable, or you have a certain task that you need to do, like chores and stuff like that, and there is no way around it. You have to go through it. You can't avoid it. You can't not do that chore. Smile and just do it with a happy heart. Put some music in your ears, earbuds or earplugs and stuff like that, and play that music and just play that music and feel good about doing your job that you have to do, and it'll go by a lot faster. All right, that's another tool that you can use. Smile anyway. Okay, even if you're around somebody, think of happy thoughts. Think of things that you're gonna do when it's over with. Okay, and just hold your breath. Not hold your breath, but take a deep breath and think happy thoughts, and you'll get through it. All right, and then give yourself some space. If you're in that situation and that person is getting on your nerves and making you feel uncomfortable, and you're getting frustrated and you're getting angry and you're hurt and all that kind of stuff, it's okay to excuse yourself and move away from that situation and go somewhere else. Go to the bathroom and pat your face with some cool water or something and calm yourself down. But take yourself away from that. Excuse yourself politely. One thing that would add stress to it is if you were rude back and if you were doing mean things back. That wouldn't make the situation less stressful. It would make it more stressful. Okay? So be respectful of other people. And like my sign back here says, to get respect, you give respect. And you know what? Another thing you can do is maybe pull that person to the side and say, hey, let's talk about it. Let's talk about what's bothering us. That's causing struggles between us. And, it's okay to use your voice and let them know that what they did hurt you. There's nothing wrong with telling them that. It may not change a thing, but it could. And so you hold on to hope that it can get better. But make sure you stay in control and you don't do the wrong thing. Here are the steps to self-control to refuse doing mean things. All right? First thing is, stop what you're doing. If the situation is causing you stress and all your stress signals are going on, stop yourself. And if you have to say stop, say your name and stop, then do it. If you have to say stop out loud, do it. But stop. And then think. You know what? What's going on around here is not nice. It's mean, it's hurtful, but I'm not in control of all that. What I am in control of is what I do next. And what I do next is I think about the consequence. You're in control of your actions. You're in control of your reaction to that problem. What are the consequences going to be? Am I going to get in trouble? Am I going to further damage this relationship? Am I going to get grounded? Am I going to hurt that person back and keep meanness going on? Am I going to feel good about that later on? Or am I going to feel guilty about it and think about what I could have done differently? No, think about it right then and there. Think about the consequence of what could happen. And then think of something else to do. Move away from that situation. Take yourself away from it for a minute, even if it's just for 3 or 4 minutes. Take yourself away from it and think of something else to do. Think about, and you can tell yourself, I'm not going to react to this. I'm not going to talk back. I'm not going to use negative body language. I'm not going to roll my eyes. I'm not going to call that person a mean name back. I'm not going to hit them back. And you may have to just move away from them, and that's your choice. That's where you choose to do something different so that you get different results. And then when you do it, you give yourself credit. You give yourself credit for making a better choice and to not keep violence and meanness going on. Take that deep breath. Stop what you're doing. Name the trouble. Yes, it might be mean. State the consequences. If I do what I feel like doing, I'm going to get in trouble or I'm going to hurt somebody. And then I'm going to feel guilty about who I am and how I handle that. Instead, I'm going to move away. I'm not going to say anything back. And then I'm going to give myself credit for doing a good job and staying out of trouble and not hurting someone. That is your way of not spreading meanness. That is your way of breaking that vicious cycle or that circle of meanness by putting something nice in there or not putting anything mean to keep it going. All right? So stop yourself. Name the trouble. Think about the consequences. Do something else and give yourself credit for staying out of trouble. You know what, boys and girls, there is a part of life that we all have to deal with, and that is when we make a mistake. And we all make them, and we all make bad choices sometimes. And we have to move past those, just like those times we've had to move past when people have hurt us. We all make mistakes, and we suffer the consequences for them. Either we feel bad about how we handled it, we feel like we're a bad person, we might feel like we have failed, and all those things may be true. You may have failed that time, but you know what? You're probably going to get another chance to do it right. And so if you learn from your mistakes, a chance will come around where you can show that you learned that that didn't work for me. I'm not going to do the same thing I did before because I don't want to go back to feeling bad about that situation. I don't want to know that I hurt somebody. I don't want to see the look on their face when I did what I did and it caused them hurt. I don't want to be responsible for spreading hurt. I want to be responsible for doing the right thing. So when you make a mistake, you do something different the next time. Yes, you might have to go to that person that you did that thing to. You may have to go to your parents when you were disrespectful and you rolled their eyes and you said and apologized for what you did. But don't do it again. Like, learn from that mistake. We're all going to make mistakes, and we're all going to hurt people at some point, and we're all going to be hurt. But learn from those mistakes. And just like when people are hurting you, learn those people you can trust and those people that you don't want to be around. And also learn that they can stress you out, and learn your stress signals so that you don't react in a mean way. It's all a plan. And you have to pay attention to those things that are around you so that you don't continue and spread meanness in the world. Find your joy, spread your love, and not mean things. Boys and girls, I will be back on day 4 to talk to you about some more great things, some more messages on how you can stop mean and violent things from happening around you. Have a great day, boys and girls.